Hey everyone! Just a small disclaimer before I even speak. I want to tell you that I do not hate cops. Just like everything in the world, just like everybody in the world, there are good people and there are bad people in all walks of life and in all job professions. I have seen some police officers go out of their way to not escalate a situation. I have seen situations where cops have literally stopped us and told us that we need to respect them because they've been on the force for X amount of years. Meanwhile, when we asked them a simple question, it was written off as disrespect. I guess I could put that story into another video, but this video is not about that. So again, like I said, there are good people in the profession and then there are bad people in the profession. Moving along. So as you know, this happened on Monday, and I just want to put in my opinion on the situation. And my opinion is, in fact, it's just an opinion. Now, if you don't know about this story, I will link a YouTube video down below, but moving along, I just wanted to state what I believe. So I saw this video on Facebook about 2 to 3 days ago. Sorry, where were my thoughts? I had to actually go into the kitchen and get my daughter something to eat, so that's why I don't like making videos when they're home. My thoughts on the entire thing is like, first of all, to the cop that had his knee on the guy's neck, why do you need to have your knee on someone's neck for that long of a time? And on top of all that, the way you were looking at him when you had your knee on top of him, it did seem like you were enjoying it. You were just looking like you had a power trip. This was something that you enjoyed having. Nevertheless, I did see another photo. Now, don't quote me because I cannot give you proof. But I did see a video of the another angle where it shows him on the ground. It shows two other police officers, one on his legs, one on his torso, and the other one that you saw was on his neck, and they were all on top of him. Then there was the other cop. I'm not going to mention any ethnicities, but you had the other police officer standing around blocking people, making sure that no one could get to the other officers. And it was funny because I was explaining to my friend how I feel like the person that was trying to block the other people is a lot more, because they said, quote, he's a good cop, he quote good cop. And I feel like if you're the type of person that has morals, you wouldn't do that sort of thing, and he didn't do that. So of course, like, he's looking the other way. Basically, I feel like he's more in the wrong because it seems like he just threw away his morals just because he's on duty and he's with his quote-unquote brother in arms. Now, as soon as George Floyd just stopped speaking, looked like he was not responsive. There were multiple people that had asked the officers to check his pulse. Check his pulse, because it doesn't look like he's responding. Check his pulse. And from what I gathered, not from what I gathered, but from what I was watching from another video, this YouTuber had said, and I'm going to put his link in the description box below, but he did say that there was I believe an off-duty firefighter that had said check his pulse. It was a female, check his pulse. I want to check his pulse just to make sure. And they even denied her. So let me tell you something really, really, really messed up. Now, if these were not cops, if they were just average guys, chances are they would not have been fired first and taken to jail after. They would not be in their houses right now. They would have been cuffed, and then they would have been thrown in jail. They would be awaiting trial, basically, in jail. Now, do you think that seems fair? Do you think that seems honest and just? Just because they're not average citizens, they're just fired? Now, let me get you more enraged about this, because it's crazy. If it was a military soldier, I'm fairly certain that they would have been taken to jail. So why do cops get this special treatment of you get fired first, you stay home, and then we'll do a trial later? Like, this is, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Are they in jail? Are they not in jail? I'm the type of person that will admit that I'm wrong, but I'm for certain that they're not in jail right now. And I spoke to a family member, and they said it's a process. It takes time. But again, like I said, with the average Joe, it wouldn't take that long of time. Sorry, moving along. I'm actually trying to listen in for my daughter. My husband's in the next room. I'm trying to keep this as quick as I can. And, you know, I'm kind of like, this is what happens when you're on a lockdown, or not really on a lockdown, but just in quarantine. I'm self-quarantining, so yeah, that's a reason why I haven't been doing any videos. There is one thing that I do understand about, I guess, the officer not trying to jump in and help. If the other officer trying to block everyone, went over to help George Floyd, what would have happened was that the people around them would have seen a break in the chain. You know, basically, like, you're only as strong as the weakest link. So if he would have just went in and said, hey man, then the other people around him, because they looked like they were kind of aggressive but not, they didn't want to, you know, when you're like trying to do that jump rope, like the double dutch or whatever, and you're just trying to get in but you just can't, so you're just like waiting for that opportunity to like jump in. Well, from what I could see, it seemed like he was trying to avoid something quite like that. But was he right on doing that? Absolutely not. Although I still see the fear factor in his face. Now you're going to tell me there was no fear in his face. It seemed like he was in control, and no. I could see that he just didn't want anyone to swarm him or his fellow officers, and that was it. And that is the only excuse that I will give them. The only excuse, because everything else, no. And even that excuse is still not good enough for him to just stand around and watch this man die. And it's messed up because they had previously called an ambulance because he was expressing that he needed medical help. So let's help him by sticking my knee in your neck while we wait for the ambulance. I mean, yeah, good thinking. Good thinking. So let's go over this. One cop is standing around letting actually 3 other cops kill this man. They are not in jail awaiting sentencing or even waiting trial, which, if you think about it, one of them should be on trial for murder, the rest of them accessory for murder. And not only that, but they completely disregarded a firefighter, someone that's in the profession to keep people safe. Well, they disregarded her. They didn't want to listen to her about checking his pulse. It was that simple. Just check his pulse. It wasn't like, oh, all of you get up off of him, all 3 of you get up off of him and check his pulse. No, it's the guy on the guy on Floyd's neck, get up off of him and check his pulse. It seemed, and I'm not going to make assumptions, but it seemed like he just absolutely did not care about this man's life. Now, if you're going to tell me, no, that's a fact, well, let me explain to you. This is YouTube. I'm not going to just tell you how I feel 100%, because if I did, then things just wouldn't work out. My channel's already small. George Floyd was not the first to be killed by the hands of police officers senselessly. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be the last, because this, even though it sparked an outrage, it seems like the police officers throughout the history, for the most part, I'm just saying the majority of police officers go in, get this big head that they think that they're above the law and better than everyone else, that they could do whatever they want, when, let's face facts, don't they get paid off of tax dollars? I'm just wondering, like, is this how it goes? This is how it goes, I think. They get paid off of tax dollars, and who pays those tax dollars? We do. So are we really paying for people to just think low of us? Are we really paying people to just kill us off? Is this what we really are paying for? Because if that's the case, then I don't want to pay for it anymore. And if there's any police officers watching this, or people that want to become police officers, do yourself a favor. Just because your fellow officer is doing something wrong doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing wrong. Doesn't mean that you have to sit by and watch as they do that thing wrong. Keep your morals. Don't be a follower. As a police officer, you are required to act like a leader. You are supposed to de-escalate the situation at hand. When was it appropriate for regular citizens to become more professional than a professional police officer? A citizen does not have to be required to act more civil than the police officer. As a police officer, you are supposed to be looked up to by children. You aren't supposed to be beating on their parents. You aren't supposed to be beating on them, because I've seen some videos of children getting beat up by police officers, and let me tell you something. If that happened with a parent beating up their child in front of a police officer, chances are the parent would be, I don't know, taken away to jail because of child abuse, or the child would be taken away for child abuse. These are the things that we let police officers do. These are the things that we let them do. We let them do things that not a normal person could do. And if they did it, they would be sent to jail. This video has gone far enough, like long enough. And yeah, I'm going to stop it here. But I do want to keep talking about it later in another video. I will probably talk about it next week. This is Friday. I was supposed to put this on Thursday. Just didn't get around to it because my family was here. Everything was going on. So, and honestly, like I said, I have to keep both ears out for my daughter, my husband, you know. So I'm not 100% when I'm doing these videos. I'm doing this video right now because I just want to explain my outrage, or not explain it, but state my outrage. If I didn't make a point clear, you could say something in the comments. I have no problem explaining it even further. My heart goes out to George Floyd's family. It's really heartbreaking to hear, and it was even more gut-wrenching to see. So again, like I said, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that this took a little too long and that, you know, I seemed like I was scatterbrained, but have a nice day. Have a safe day. Stay healthy and lots of love. I'll see you next week. Bye.